So we're going to kick off this tutorial session with 2 short talks that are more, especially this first one, for later reference. But this one is all Greg's fault. He proposed that we do a quick introduction talk that goes through the learning resources available to learn more about HTCondor. So this is HTCondor orienteering. So the good news, as many of you hopefully know, is that Condor is powerful and can do a lot of things. The bad news is that making it do all of those things in exactly the way you want, not always 100% straightforward. Luckily, there's a lot of good information on the internet. Unluckily, sometimes it's hard to find and navigate. So this talk is meant to give you a few kind of starting points for navigating the internet and learning more about HTCondor. So in general, the stuff we produce is the best because it's likely to be more up to date. Stack Overflow, random searches, Stack Overflow again, sometimes have useful tips, but again, are more likely to be out of date or potentially a kludge that's not the best way to do something. And just in general, to be aware of versioning when you're looking for information and potential customization. So I wouldn't even recommend necessarily using like the CHTC user documentation as your one true way to have user docs, because we have our Condor set up a specific way. So these are just things to be aware of. So moving on to hopefully reliable sources of information, we have talk recordings on YouTube from both Condor Week and other events. So that link is up here. Again, the slides are online. You can check out all these links later. The slides and recordings from Condor Week are also posted on old Condor Week websites. So this link on the Condor website goes to past Condor Weeks. I personally wouldn't go more than like 2 or 3 years back because of changes to Condor over time. But I think there's a lot of talks from the last 2 or 3 years that are really, really valuable. There is, of course, the manual. I know that it's not ideal, and we've already had some chats about that at this meeting, but we're slowly making improvements. This is sort of Greg's single-handed mission to drag the manual into usability. Manual labor. And if it's in GitHub, you're welcome to submit pull requests if you have some ideas for us. All right. If you don't have time to read the whole manual, the part we especially recommend are the command reference pages. I will say, as a facilitator, this is definitely what I use the most, is looking through the Condor submit page. TJ will be giving a talk about that later today. Condor submit, Condor queue, some of the basic commands, those are really useful reference. You can obviously get similar information from the command line by using the man pages or help flag. If you are especially interested in what has changed recently, this is another piece of the manual to focus on, the release notes and version history. For those of you who are a little more old school, there's the HTCondor users mailing list, which is a place to get real questions, hopefully real answers, and learn a little bit more about how Condor works. And then obviously, for those of you who are here in person, connecting with us during this conference, asking questions, we can perhaps point you to specific learning resources and kind of direct you where you need to go to make progress on your particular scenario. So any questions? Greg, do you have anything to add in terms of, these were originally your slides, so.
I take back everything I said about you. The only other thing I say is we're glad you're here. We want this to be a users group meeting, not us coming from on how high telling you how it's going to be and how much you're going to like it. So we really encourage these peer-to-peer interactions. I think there's a tremendous amount of value there. So don't be afraid to talk to that random person at lunch who probably knows more than or together who knows more than any one person.
Yeah,